Alright, welcome back. This is going to be, excuse me, an unbagging of number 3 in the Campaign in Europe series from Decision Games. The last 4 World at War issues I've covered that. I've covered this in a previous video too. We had Volume 1, Drive to Leningrad, which I'm actually doing a playthrough of currently. Case Blue was Volume 2, covered the lower map in Russia. Volume 3 we're going to look at tonight, now is Italian campaign, Sicily to Italy, I believe all the way to Anzio. And Volume 4 is D-Day to the Rhine. Actually, it's D-Day to Market Garden for this. But again, as I said in the previous video, there's an expansion coming out, hopefully in the next month or two, that will add a whole bunch more scenarios, cover different areas of the war, combining maps, etc. So you can listen to that. I've got a previous video on that, but like I said, today we're going to look at Volume 3, the Italian campaign. Okay, let me pause it here and change my zoom. All right, that should be okay. Now again, we're looking at Volume 3. I kind of messed up when I did Volume 4 before, but we are looking at Volume 3 here, the Italian campaign. We've got the game materials here I've already taken out. We'll look at it in a second. But first, I always like to do a run-through of the magazine. We don't have to spend a lot of time on the game rules because this has been covered multiple times, same rules through all volumes of the series. So basically, once you learn the game once, you've got everything but the special rules for a specific scenario you're doing. All right, so let's look at this. World at War. This is issue 99. Came out December, January. Okay. And hopefully all can see Operation Typhoon reprint. We've seen that before. Korea the Mobile War. I think that's a solo game, magazine game. Here we are. Some strategy and tactics World at War magazine games that have come out. Reprint of Battles for the Ardennes, a classic from Spy Days, SBI. 4 battles here, including Sedan 1940. I think I've done a playthrough of that a year ago or so. And they've got a deluxe edition here. So, coming soon. Okay. So let's see, what have we got in this magazine? The Italian campaign, obviously. U.S. carrier raids in 42. Soviet mechanization in 41. Japan's Operation Fugo. I think that's the ones where they put bombs on balloons, floated them over the west coast. So here we go, the Italian campaign. They cover 43 to 45 to the end, I believe. I looked at the expansion, although this version scenario goes only to pretty much Anzio, I think. They've got scenarios in the expansion that pretty much goes all the way to the end. Let's see. So they talk about, okay, they start here with Italy. That's going to be their focus. German defensive lines in southern Italy. I know Hitler initially, I think the plan was they were going to withdraw the north of Italy and entrench there, but then Kesslering, Smiling, whatever his first, I forgot his first name, decided to defend, and he was really good at that. Even though he was a Luftwaffe general. Yeah, here we are moving way up beyond Rome here. June, December, yep. They took Rome the day before D-Day, I think. Kind of stole their thunder. Could have taken it sooner if they'd been more aggressive with the Anzio landing. Talk about the 10th Mountain Division here. As they moved into northern Italy in the mountains. Logistics. Yeah, some cool pictures there. Yeah, and then, yeah, you can tell we're up here towards the end of the war here, coming up on the Alps, northern Italy. Here's the rules, and again, I've been through this in a rules review, and volume 4, and these rules look, don't really see anything different than any other game in the series. And where you're going to see new things is when you look at, yeah, amphibious, yeah, this is all the same, fog of war. It's when you get to the special rules for that particular scenario. Let's see, this one's game length is 43 through 44. June. Well, okay, so 1 year, 12 months, and each month has 4 turns because it's weekly, except during inclement weather, which I don't think was here. So we're looking at a good chunk of turns here. Get the reinforcement schedule here. Let's see. Then we got special rules. Talk about North Africa holding, I guess. Allied logistics. We got free French in here. Beachhead depots, etc. Access special rules, terrain key, reinforcements. And yeah, and there you go. I don't see the victory conditions here. Here it is. If you control, it's victory points. Rome 5, Verona, Florence, Ancona 4, Naples, Foggy, that's 3. Yep, so I guess the further you move up, the more victory points. Those are, and if anybody holds all of these at any one time, they win. Sudden death. Let's see, so we finish out the article here, August 44. I think this was the British. I think they were the 8th Army. Yeah, 8th Army. That's where they went after North Africa. Northern Italy, April 45. Takes us to the end. And then ads for the Italian campaign here. Here's the map we'll see in a second. And again, battles in the east. Got all 3 of these. Actually, this is already out. And I did do a video on one of the battles here, so these would be interesting to come back to. And then we talk about carrier raids in the early 42. Okay. So Lexington. Okay, October. Pictures here. I don't know where they did the raids. Wake. Yeah, these are raids. They weren't reinvading. Wake. Maybe Guam. So you got some history there. There's Midway. There's our naval aviator in his khakis and unregulation belt. But that's an aviator. Wake Island. Marcus Islands. There's the Enterprise. Back before the war, 39. Let's see. Oh, this is just an ad for a previous magazine that came out covering Sicily and southern Italy, same as what we've got here. Soviet mechanization. Yeah, BT-7. When Barbarossa happened, they were not that great, but you know, when they first came out in the early 30s, and I guess they were pretty good in the Spanish Civil War too. And I think that's the Christie's suspension there. Oh, and here's that big tank, the T-28 multiple turrets. You know, by the time of, yeah, and here's their deployment. 8th Army, 11th Army. Okay, Leningrad. Yep, playing this through right now on volume 1 of, you know, I don't know what it called, Road to Leningrad. KV-1, that's the big one. Yeah, the T-35, but here it is. The original T-34. These two were quite a shock to the Germans. Yeah, their PZ-4 at the time was more an infantry support tank with a short barrel 75. PZ-3, I don't know if it was the upgun 50 millimeter, but this guy, you can only take it out with 88s, 88 anti-tank guns. Got some armored cars, kind of cool. Let me get this. I think I've centered this. Yeah. Oh wow, the KV-2. Yeah, I remember that. 152 millimeter gun, artillery tank. Probably scared the Germans when they first saw that one. And 152 millimeter. Wow. Oh, and here's Fugu. Yeah, the bombs on balloons floating them across the west coast. Actually, according to this, they got pretty far. Almost as far as Michigan here. Iowa, etc. A few in Montana there, but a lot of them here along the west coast. And Alaska. Okay. Coral Sea. Another game preview here. Solomon's Campaign. Yeah, that's the next one, next issue after coming out here, 101. Yeah, this one's already out. Got that. That's the D-Day one. And we got Invasion Australia, Battle of Finland. I'm actually making Vassal mods for both of those. Path to Victory, Middle East 41. That looks interesting. Madagascar 42. Okay. That's World at War. Here's your new series. Again, all these are out now. And the expansion pack is coming out. And it also gives you another opportunity for the right price to get all 4 of these and the expansion pack. Oh, and here's the big one. Yep, Axis Empires Ultimate Edition. Whole bunch you can do with this one. Yeah. Internment of the Aleuts. Natives on the Aleutians? Now that I didn't know we did. I know we did the Japanese. D-Day Quad. Yep, Deluxe Edition. That's Decision Games, kind of detailed D-Day. I've got that, and there should be a Vassal mod for that. Juno Beach. Why are we deep diving the Canadians, I think? Yeah. Probably on D-Day Quad. One of the battles. Canadian Order Battle. Italian Air Forces in World War II. How appropriate, considering this is the Italian campaign here with the game. They had some good planes. They just didn't have the industry to do it. Winter War. There was some movie out within the last year or two. It was kind of over the top, but this, I don't know, rogue German soldiers at the end of the war stealing gold and doing stuff, and this one Finnish guerrilla basically hunted them down and took them out. Okay, oh, I got to know, well, this is November, so this doesn't apply anymore. Leyte Gulf, largest sea battle. World War II map posters from games. That looks pretty cool. And you get digital editions of these magazines through these apps, although I've tried and it didn't work. So we'll see. D-Day at Saipan, part of their series of D-Day series solitaire games. Yeah, D-Day at Utah was the first one, and then the rest are apparently Pacific Islands. There's Utah. Yep, here are the other ones. Iwo, Peleliu, and Saipan. Excellent series from John Butterfield. Oh, and this is coming out. Red Dragon, Green Crescent, Modern Warfare in the Indian Ocean and the Pacific. And this one has been updated from what I've read to 2024 to reflect 2024 to 2034. So I'm going to be getting this one hopefully and trying that out. Not as, now we've got some other more detailed ones. You got the Fleet series. I think Compass Games did some, but this one is a more kind of like War at Sea, I think it feels like, where you're placing ships in zones, but it's detailed. It's got air and ground, so I can't wait to get this. Hopefully this will be out here in the next few months. So we'll look at that. Drive on Leningrad. Yeah, War Plan Z. That's a game where they speculate the Germans followed War Plan Z, built up their navy, and see what effect it had on the Battle of the Atlantic. And their quarterlies. First Indochina War is the next one there. So, all right, so that's the magazine. I'm going to pause real quick, change the zoom, and we'll look at the game components. All right, no better place to start than the map here. And again, this kind of matches up with the War in Europe, especially the reprint War in Europe, which I did a video of France and Poland on that one. But their map, and they've updated the map, made it look nicer, but it's the same scale. So we do see for this one, we have, I think you can see most of it here. Yeah, Sicily, the Italian, Roma, but not quite all the way to the top, but um, that's the D-Day to the Rhine map, just mates right there. Fall Blau maps right over here, and Leningrad's up there. So you do get kind of the center of Europe here. And we do have Tunisia, Algeria. It could be staging for this one, or maybe they'll maybe they'll add map down here. We can do North Africa in a future expansion. Don't know. Gonna need a map over there for Torch, probably Spain. So we'll see. They've got part of the Balkans over here. Not all of it, but you could do Greece, but you're not going to do Crete because that's not on the map. But you could do Albania. You could do Yugoslavia. Yeah, and we do have Turkey over here, so we'll see. I don't know if they have plans to expand it for the outer areas here, but yeah, we do have, yeah, of course, again, in Sardinia. I don't know. I'll have to look at the rules if there's options to land there instead, maybe in the expansion, etc. But again, up that narrow Italian peninsula. Yeah, it's not very, about 6 hexes across here, so metal things will bottle up here. Salerno, that's where the landing is. Of course, down here you start with Sicily. Yeah, liking the maps here. Let's look at the counters. Let's see, they're pretty standard. Again, 280 counters, smaller size. There you go. We see, upside down. And in this one, we do see the Italians for the first time up here. And we got the Germans. The interesting thing I found about the Germans is that they've got a lot of elite units. That's just the combat factor has a white dot, white surrounding here. Movement with white means it's mech. But they got a lot of elite units. They got Fallschirmjäger, they got Panzergrenadier, the Panzers. Means they're going to be tough. They can, amongst other things, decide not to retreat. Um, Usual depots, mobile supply units, heavy armor. In this case, it's probably Tigers. Got some solid air power too. So we'll see how that plays out. Then we also have let's see, coming up here, the U.S. 7th Army. Yeah, but that's Patton. And it's got that increased movement factor compared to the other ones. And that's all well, let's see, we also have 5th Army. And you see it's slower. The only elite units the U.S. has are the airborne units. A lot of TAC, SAC, air to ground, yep. Got your generic units here. Mobile supply, rail, gunfire support, amphib. Then we got the Brits, 8th Army. Looks like that's it. I don't see any other headquarters for them. And then they've got their own TAC and SAC. So there you go. Another good set of counters here, smaller sized. And yeah, we do have potentially for a lot of them 2 steps, back sides here, and the air units attack out of interdiction. So solid set of counters there. And then the other 2 standard things we find in these series, which I've covered previously. We got the TEC, the terrain effects chart. This one may play with air bases, how many units can fly out of a certain type of unit. Air units can fly out of certain air bases. Ground unit delay during the month. And then we got on the other side the 2 terrain effects charts, the mobile and the assault. This one gives you a chance of overrun. All the shifts, pretty handy here, usable. And this one we're going to see our superiority fights for the air power there. And then with that, we've also got our, let's see which side do I want. Yeah, we got our standard tracking charts for both sides. We got the months, the weeks in the month, the year, air unit placement up here, refit costs, tracks for refit points and railroad capability. I got some, kind of special rules unique, how often they get refit points. what they get it for. And then the Allies, pretty much the same here. And if we flip it over, we do have the historical setup, Sicily, Sardinia, Corsica. You got a variable setup there too for the Germans. That's cool. Okay. And then the Allies. I do not see a variable landing. Yeah, they're in the holding areas initially, and then they land in Sicily. So yeah, looks very similar to the other ones. Leningrad, Fall, Blau, and D-Day. So yeah, looks good. Good map, good counters, common system. You know, how can you go wrong here? And you get the expansion, more scenarios. So there you go. World at War number 99, third volume of the campaigns in Europe, the Italian campaign, and for this one it's 43 to 44, Sicily to Anzio, but in the expansion pack you'll have the whole shebang to the end of the war. There's even in the expansion pack I think I've covered. There's a combined one where you start with Sicily, but then you do the Italian and then you can do D-Day. I don't know if they'll have variable landing or how much flexibility you'll have, but we'll see. So anyway, that'll do it for this one. Hope to see you at the next one. Otherwise, subscribe, like, comment, appreciate it if you could. Otherwise, see you at the next recording. Thanks for listening.